Christian, let me ask you, are you a Christian here today? Are you really a Christian? Maybe I should ask you this. Somebody said recently that Christians only used a couple times in the New Testament, but the word saint is used about 60 times, 30 times, I forget it, a lot. I didn't look it up, but it was comparing the two. Are you a saint? Do you understand how and why God has forgiven you? Do you understand how and why? Do you get it? Do you know how and why? God, the immutable God, holy, holy, holy God, has forgiven you? You see, if you are living with the sense that you have earned God's forgiveness, you are meriting God's forgiveness somehow, some way, you're living under that mindset, then you will relate to those who sin against you in the very same, or at least much the same way. They will need to earn your forgiveness. But if you truly understand and appreciate that you are pardoned by God only by grace through Jesus Christ, cleansed by the blood of Jesus Christ alone, then you will be ready to forgive one who sins against you without first demanding that they earn that pardon from you. Let me say it this way. Pardon earned is not forgiveness. Are you hearing this? And forgiveness and reconciliation are not optional for followers of Christ. This is so significant that Jesus talks about it more than once. And in the passage we read in Matthew 18, it ought to be very clear. This is a big deal. In fact, Jesus gives instructions in verse 30 in Luke, or Matthew 18. I'll get it here in a minute. Matthew 18 and verse 15. Moreover, if your brother shall trespass against you, you don't just ignore it. You don't just deal with it. Go to him. Tell him his fault. Don't tell everybody else. Tell him. Between you and him alone. And if he hears you, guess what? You've gained your brother. There's a restoration of the relationship. But this is so serious. This idea of Jesus wants His people reconciled. He wants them together. He wants unity among His people. And it is so important that if your brother or your sister doesn't respond, then if he doesn't hear you, then take one or two others with you. Not so that you can slam them or so you can prove that you're right. That is not the goal of going to someone. But so that you can reconcile. That in the mouth of two or three witnesses every word may be established. Maybe you're seeing something wrong. Maybe they're seeing something wrong, but if two or three witnesses come along, this thing can be verified and it can be helped. You're working toward reconciliation. In fact, this is so significant that Jesus says, listen, if that doesn't work, you need to take it to the church. And if you neglect to hear the church, let him be unto thee as a heathen man and a publican. Jesus clearly is serious about us removing relational division that is caused by sin. And the more we are saturated in our souls with the gospel of grace in Jesus Christ, the more serious we will be to avoid unnecessary conflict, and the more ready we will be to resolve offenses when they come. It's one of the things our church covenant says, right? I mean, we will do it quickly, without delay, because we see the significance of living out the gospel, of portraying the gospel. Not just talking about it, living it.